G'day folks, welcome to the channel. Today I've got a great video that I want to share with you. I came across it on YouTube and it's a panel of 4 Muslim men having a conversation with 4 Muslim women about secret second wives. And the men are trying to argue that it's okay for Muslim men to have secret second wives. This is going to be a reaction video. I hope you enjoy it. It's certainly something I enjoyed watching and had a good laugh watching. It's really a sad religion, even though sometimes we may laugh at these things. It is also a sad thing to see this happening in the world. But it's important that we make videos about this kind of thing so we can see the errors of other religions and other kind of worldviews that are out there, and we can stand firm in the truth of the Christian faith. I want to play this video, and as we go along, I'll pause it and give you my reactions for copyright reasons, of course, as well. Let's get right into it. And that's how actually this guy starts the video himself. He says, let's get right into it. Here it is.
Let's get straight into it. The topic is secret second wives. And
I just have to laugh as soon as I hear him say that. I mean, that's just funny. The topic of this secret second wives, you know.
yes, the first topic is it okay? So we're going to do this 2 segments. The first one is going to be that, is it okay for a man to be in a secret second marriage or third or fourth marriage for that? Let's start with you, Hijab, inshallah.
So let me just summarize the points. I think when we say is it okay, now for Muslim people at least, this will become a fiqh discussion. Yeah. This becomes a jurisprudential discussion, an Islamic law discussion. Yeah. So with fiqh, there's two components. Yeah. There's the abstract and then there's the application. Okay.
So there's the abstract and then there's the application. Right. This is a matter of Islamic law. There's the abstract and then there's the application. Let's keep watching.
Abstract you can refer to as fiqh or the rulings, or the asl al-hukm they would call it. And then you have tanzil al-hukm, which is the application, right? So to give you an example, marriage itself can take different rulings. Sugar can take different rulings. Like if someone's got diabetes and they take sugar, that can be haram for them. You see?
Haram is the word means like forbidden. Halal means permitted. Haram means forbidden.
If someone is morbidly obese and they eat food, that can be haram for them because it's harmful. So even food can take different rulings. Even though a piece of chicken, for example, or a cube of sugar,
look, notice the 2 guys there, you know, if they have some sugar, it's haram for them, all right? If those Muslims are watching this video, if those 2 Muslims on the end in the black take sugar, that's haram for them.
Itself is not haram, yes, but it can be haram in certain situations. Yeah, and so there's lots of things like that. In general, so when we talk about this issue here, to get straight into it, when we talk about secret second wives, there's no such thing as secret second wives in Islam, because there's no secrets in nikah. You need to have at least 2 witnesses, okay?
So there's no secret second wives, right? Because in Islam, you need to have at least 2 witnesses, right? So there's no such thing in Islam as secret second wives, technically, right? So, I mean, in other words, if you want a buddy, you know, that can be a witness or something, he might want a second wife himself, you bring him along, a couple of mates along, they're witnesses to your second marriage, and therefore it's not a secret second marriage. Even though your wife doesn't know about it, it's not a secret second marriage because there are witnesses.
To the majority of scholars. However, having said that, it is very possible for somebody to get married without telling their first wife in Islam as an abstract hukm. Why? Because there's no prerequisite, there's no conditioning, ishtirat, there's no conditioning according to any of the madhahib, in fact, that a man needs to tell his first wife.
Look at their reactions. They don't seem very happy about this. They, you know, I mean, you know, what woman would be? What woman would be happy knowing that their husband could have a secret second wife? No woman's going to be happy with that.
Or ask for permission from her or anything like that, yeah? Okay. In order for him to get a second. Moreover, even the Prophet Muhammad himself. I mean, there's a verse in the Quran, وَإِذْ أَصَرَّ النَّبِيُّ إِلَى بَعْضِ أَزْوَاجِهِ حَدِيثًا. If no one thought about this verse. When the Prophet, he kept a secret from some of his wives. Yes. Some scholars, I'm not going to go into detail, but some scholars actually connect this with an incident with Maria the Copt and so on. And
let me just pause and explain. Maria the Copt, she was an Orthodox girl, Christian Orthodox, and you know, her city was, you know, destroyed, and you know, the men were killed, and she was taken away as a concubine for Muhammad, and she refused to convert to Islam. So she certainly did not believe that Muhammad was a prophet. And that's why she remained a concubine. And this relationship was kept secret, according to, this is Muhammad Ijab speaking. This relationship was kept secret from his other wives. He had a secret concubine, Mary the Copt. Pretty sad, really, that these Orthodox Christians went through that. It's very sad.
I'm not going to go into detail, but the idea of actually not telling your husband or your wife, to be fair, because the hadith in Sahih Muslim says, لا يحل الكذب إلا في ثلاث, that lying is not allowed except for three things. One of them is hadith الرجل لامرأته, that when a man speaks to his wife. And in Sahih Muslim it says, and when a wife speaks to her husband.
White lies?
It doesn't have to be white. It can be a black lie. Sorry to say. I'm not.
So husbands and wives are allowed to lie to each other. That's what he just said. Husbands and wives are allowed to lie to each other.
This idea of a white lie it's a modern day thing that people say. There's in the classical works. Yeah. There's no differentiation there here in the kutub. Like for example, that's not how people understood it. It can be you can lie to your spouse. In this situation, so the issue of this is that.
So can they lie in the context of, for example, if one says, I sense that you've got a second wife, can he say, no, I don't?
Yes, you can. You can say that.
You can say that.
Yes, I personally believe this is the hadith.
What she says? Yeah, I mean that's just wrong. That's just wrong. And look at the smile on the other guy. Ali Dawa. That's the name he goes by. Look at his smile as he's just looking over. He's quite happy about this.
On the master, لا يحل الكذب إلا في ثلاث. The Prophet said you can do it. Yeah.
The Prophet said you can do it.
I believe it's possible. Now,
this is the same Prophet. Very, very sad. The same Prophet that is well known for marrying Aisha when she was 6, still playing with her dolls, and consummating that marriage when she was 9. Very, very sad. In fact, when you read the hadiths, it talks about her hair falling out and everything. That's how full on it is. And the reason why we know she was prepubescent is because when you read the hadiths, playing with dolls is forbidden for Muslims unless they're prepubescent. That's how we know that she was prepubescent. And she was taken when she was still playing with her dolls. And the reason why these hadiths are there was, ironically, to defend Muhammad, because to defend Aisha, because people were trying to say that she was unfaithful, and these hadiths came in to basically say, oh no, she's been with the Prophet, from prepubescent times. So it's very sad, very sad. But he permits, obviously, that's what he's saying. He permits these secret second wives.
Having said this all, I said this is the abstract ruling.
Yeah.
But in implementation, okay. Now because like I said, the hukum can take different rulings based on a personal side. If someone does this and they get caught, for example, or something happens, or
or she just asks him, where were you last night?
Even if he answered that question, she can't know if he's going to get a truthful answer, because they've already admitted that. If she's going to get a truthful answer, because they've already admitted that he can lie to her.
Yeah, but even that he can lie. We've already said.
So you are allowed to lie anything related to the relationship.
I believe it's not anything, because there's some things you can never lie about.
His wife.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
For example, you can never lie about the religion of Islam. You can never lie about something which relates to the rights of the person. You can never lie about something that relates to vested interest, like the children, for example. There's things you can never lie about, but I believe yes, you can.
But are you saying in the context of, for example, it's going to ruin the family unit, so he's lying to protect his family?
Look,
lying about his second wife to protect his family. Okay.
I'm saying to you, I don't recommend this. But we started off by saying that there's two things. There's one aspect which is jurisprudential, and another aspect which is application. Jurisprudential, the man can do it. It's up to the man. No woman can take that right away from the man. Okay, it's impossible.
So let's get this right, yeah? So that Islamically, any of us can get a secret second wife.
Absolutely.
Or any man for that matter.
Not secret. We can get... Islamically, there is no problem in a man getting married to another woman in misyar without the first wife's knowledge. However, the question is, and there's no khilaf in this. Yeah. There's actually, I've not seen one solitary difference of opinion in any of the 14 generations of Islam.
No difference of opinion. For 14 generations of Islam, this has been permitted. There's no difference of opinion from scholars within 14 generations of Islam on this subject. Muslims are allowed to get a second secret wife. And I think even Ali Dawa later on, he says, multiple wives.
It's not there.
Which is?
Any scholar saying that, no, a woman needs to know, she needs to tell her, doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's it.
No scholar.
Like, Allah says, I'm not here to, with respect, I don't prostrate myself to the emotions of women or men or anyone else. I'm speaking about the religion. This is a ruling. We cannot distort the rulings.
There's an ayah in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the Prophet that, are you going to make something which is haram for you, halal for you, haram, because of the fear of your wives? That's a very deep statement. That could be...
So he's saying, are you going to make something haram for you that is forbidden, which is halal, because of the fear of your wives? So he's saying, look, don't forbid yourself this right just out of fear of your wives. That's what the Quran is saying. So that's what he's trying to argue here.
To make your wives pleased with you.
Exactly. Yeah. So I believe brothers should fear Allah more than their wives. I mean, please tell me. I don't think. I think there's bil ijma, meaning there's consensus that none of you guys are okay with your husbands getting a second wife. Can I just quickly get that out of the way, Sister Swad?
Absolutely not.
You're not okay with it? Yeah. Listen, sister.
It's a no from me. And if you have anything to say it now.
She's threatening.
You're finished.
Yeah.
Sister
Her husband's the other white-looking guy, so she's obviously quite upset.
Mira?
Yeah, no.
No. Sister Tyra?
And I won't be happy with it.
Okay, she won't be happy with it. Okay, now listen.
I
listen.
like that response.
Now listen. Yeah, may Allah bless them. Now listen to us brothers, yeah? Okay, starting from Dawood, yeah? Would you say you are polygamous by nature?
Hey, we had this conversation before.
Can we have you on the mic, please?
And I disagree with
No, I'm just asking a simple question. Let's not go into the nitty-gritty. All I'm saying is...
I'm not going to say I'm polygamous by nature. I'll say that...
Bro. Let me answer the question again,
Yeah.
If your wife was totally okay with it, zero problems, you come back home and she's cooking a meal, bruv, you just got married.
Yeah.
Would you get a second wife?
Yeah. I would.
Okay.
I would.
No, I'm going to miss the brother because we don't want to... look, okay, put it like this, yeah? We're just saying this within our nature. Yeah?
Just be careful, Saj. Be
just jokes
careful.
aside, yeah?
Blame Jamil.
At least these women have some strength, but I wonder how far they could push it. I think if there were issues there, at least with this group, I think she'd get shut down pretty quickly. But at least she's showing some fortitude here, which is a good thing. But by the way, they're in England, by the way. So, yeah.
If you died, we loved you, yeah? It was for the cause, yeah? Okay, brothers. Okay, what I'm just saying is that as a man, would you not say you are polygamous by nature? It doesn't mean you have to act upon it, but would you not say that every man is polygamous by nature? That if their wives were totally okay with it, no consequences, that they would do it?
I don't think I would.
No,
but I don't know, because the thing is, I work on the doors.
guys,
He needs a lie detector. Look, I mean, with this idea of men polygamous by nature, Jesus didn't have any wives, right? Jesus didn't have any wives. Are we going to say that Jesus was polygamous by nature? Muhammad had a lot of wives, but Jesus had no wives. So it is possible, it is possible to control. We are sinful by nature, right? Human beings other than Christ, other than Jesus, are sinful by nature. But we cannot say we should be with multiple wives. God's design is not multiple wives. In fact, when you read Genesis and you read the story of creation, God only created one wife for Adam. He didn't create multiple wives for Adam. So this man is clearly wrong here. Even in Islam, there was not multiple wives, as far as I'm aware. I might be wrong there, but as far as I'm aware, Adam only had one wife, even in Islam.
guys, 1 second.
Well, the thing is, I work on the doors.
Because there's conflict of interest here as well.
Yeah, I work on the doors. Let's say I work on the doors.
Okay.
The thing is, I work on the doors. There's so many women out there, but the thing is, it doesn't do nothing for me.
No, we know that. Look, I have no doubt about that. What I'm saying is the following, Naki, yeah? The reason I'm saying this, and we need to be brutally honest, the reason I'm saying this, you know why? Because sisters are under the impression that there is a man out there that is not polygamous. I believe.
But it's true.
Under the impression, Jesus was celibate. He didn't have any wives. He had no sin whatsoever, no sinful sexual desire. He didn't lust after women. He was perfect. So the idea that just because you're a man, you are polygamous by nature is false. It's false.
No, that's delusional. Anyone that thinks that is delusional.
No, it is true. Not every man is polygamous.
One second. Why are men even choosing to make it secret? And the whole reason is because If your husband's supposed to come to you and say, I want to get married again, and I want to do it properly, yeah? Now, I say to the sisters, if you don't want your husband to get a second wife, you tell him that if he's going to get a second wife, he has to do it properly. Meaning, which is what, and let me tell you something, if you don't want your husband to get a second wife, implement this, yeah? You tell him you're going to marry her, you're going to do a walima for her, you're going to get her mahar, you're going to get all of this stuff. You know what you'll say? You'll say, bruv, that's long.
Absolutely, yeah.
But if there are men out there who can do that, the question I want to ask you guys...
It just made no sense whatsoever there. You know, if you don't want him to do it, tell him you have to do all these specific things in Islam for your wife in order to get married, and he won't. But there are men out there that can do it. And, you know, he's probably one of them that wants to do it.
What is the right way so men don't go behind their wife's back? Why are they keeping it secret? Because they are scared of the consequences. Not seeing their kids, being kicked out, being blackmailed. These are major sins, by the way. Not showing your kids. I know brothers who have been divorced and not seeing their kids because they wanted to get second wife. This is dhulm. On the day of judgment, are you mad? Something he did halal, understand, it's emotional, you're upset. You are stopping him from seeing his kids. You are now going to the law. Bro, we had brothers here, we had fathers here, accused of pedophilia with their kids because of a bitter wife.
You know, all those things are terrible. It's terrible to accuse someone falsely of those sort of things. And we see that it's a big problem in Western society. Men are being falsely accused all the time by women, and especially when there's a messy breakup and kids are involved. That's totally true. But on the other side of things, it is good to see the state getting involved and giving these women some sort of support in the midst of this. Although as a Christian, I don't believe there are any grounds for divorce whatsoever. I know Christians have different views on that, but that's my particular view. But it's good to see that these women are getting some sort of support in these situations. But yeah, you know, should definitely never withhold visitation rights to your kids and stuff like that. In England, if there's a divorce, it's automatic. The children go with the wives or with the mother. And it's very tough for men. It's tougher than in Australia, although Australia is very tough as well. But yeah, that aside.
Yeah. I'll ask you a simple question, yeah? I think there's bil ijma here. You guys would never want it. We would, definitely.
But there are ways that women can implement.
No, Sister Mira, I'm asking a question.
Where a husband cannot marry a second wife. If he agrees and signs on the day of the nikah, he cannot then go and get a secret wife.
So she's saying that if on the day they get married, there's an agreement in the marriage contract that he doesn't get a second wife, then he's not allowed to. But I think Ali Dawa just shuts that down.
But if somebody doesn't believe that, it's battered. He doesn't even acknowledge it. Yeah. And also, yes. I'm going to give.
If he doesn't believe that, it's meaningless. So he can even sign it in the contract, but if he doesn't really believe it, it's meaningless.
To you, but after him, I want to ask you guys a question. Please, can you tell us the correct way of going about it so it's not secret?
But this is what she said. There's truth in what she said.
Of course.
He starts off saying there's truth in what she said, but at the end, even that truth becomes meaningless.
The Hanbali madhab is actually mentioned in all the books of the Hanabala. Ibn Qudama mentions that. What do you call it? Mirdawi mentions that. Al-Hajjawi mentions, even Zal Mustaqna, Musa Al-Hajjawi mentions it. So many people mention it. Bahuti. So this is what you're saying is legitimate. In fact, if someone puts in the contract, maybe I shouldn't be giving all the.
No, you should give the tips.
Even if it's the brothers, it's a bit of truth.
We're giving all the. Funny enough,
we're going to take it back.
Funny enough, I'm Hanbali myself. You know.
I'm Maliki.
Okay, but all the other madhahib actually don't agree with this, and the reason why is they bring it. There's a hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that says, "Ayu shartin laysa fi kitabillahi fahuwa batil." That any condition that is not in the book of Allah, then it's nullified.
Bang.
So they.
Bang, right there. Any condition, even if they've got this condition in the contract that they won't get a second marriage in the marriage contract, they put that condition, if Allah hasn't given, it's meaningless. Say that this is incorrect, so the Hanafis don't accept this, the Shafi'is don't accept this, and the Malikis don't accept this. So if the woman is Hanbali, for example, she puts this agreement, and he's not this thing. No, but he's not this thing. He doesn't. It's all about what he believes in. If he doesn't believe in it, it might not be veracious. However, I would add to it, the Prophet ﷺ did say, "Al-Muslimun ala shurutihim." Muslims are upon their condition, which is, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu awfu al-uqud." You know, oh, you who believe, fulfill the contract.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we slide away, because I feel like the first question that was asked about is secret. Is it okay to have a secret wife? I would love to go back there.
Please, yeah.
I mean, I think I haven't personally looked into it, so I'll take your word. So I don't know. That might be a different opinion. I don't know. I take what Hijab said about like that it's like agreed upon that you shouldn't that it's okay to do it secret. But I would love to speak about the implications that it has a bit more, because it's something I feel like that we didn't really discuss because the implication here is that the secret, like, okay, obviously nothing is really secret. Again, you can't have a secret wife per se, because
you have to.
It's
not really
marriage in Islam. The way it's constructed.
Yeah, but let's not sugarcoat it. It's a secret from the first wife.
I'm gonna.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, but this is the whole thing,
May
right?
I finish? May I finish? Because
well, you got a buzzer. You can use a buzzer.
Secret from the first wife.
Yeah, but I'm trying to take it elsewhere. I'm trying to go deep. I want to go deep. I want to go deep.
He wants to go deep. This is a shallow religion. This is a carnal, fleshly religion. It's not a deep religion at all.
So what I'm trying to say is that Islam, in the way that Islam has constructed marriage is like a communal thing. So there's always other people involved, but it will be a secret to the person that matters the most, which is the wife.
Exactly.
Right? And I don't think that that causes cohesion. In the long term, in a society. Imagine if we were to live in a society where there's a considerable amount of men who do this, and there's so many implications that come out of it. The children out of those marriages, do they know that they're siblings?
Thank you.
I'm so glad you've mentioned children.
These problems
as well.
Yes, true. But why is the man keeping it secret?
I'm just going to finish.
See, Ali Dawa, he keeps hitting, yes, that's all true, we agree with that, but why is he keeping it a secret? The reason why he's keeping it a secret is ultimately the wife's fault, because the wife won't allow him to have his second wife. That's Ali Dawa's point.
I'm just going to finish.
Why is the man keeping it secret?
Yeah, and I'm going to get there, and I'm with you on that one. I'm just saying that for those brothers who do these things, you must understand that the pain and the misery that could be a byproduct of this thing is tremendous.
I'll be honest with you, no man wants to keep it secret. No man wants to go do anything behind his wife's back. So the point is this: if we are created in this manner, you guys are created with certain hormones. Yes, for example, because we're learning here. Yes, you have your period, you have your menopause, you become pregnant, etc. There are so many factors. Men don't blame women and say, "Oh, why on your period? Why are you on menopause for?" Yeah, and when it comes to intimacy, a lot of men actually feel deprived. Their partners, they're not as bothered. And the thing is here that now we as men are blamed. No, we as men are blamed.
Men can abstain. The proof is Jesus. Jesus abstained. Men can abstain. There's no problems. We don't even have that, obstacle. Jesus didn't have a wife at all, right? And he abstained. We can have a wife. So surely we can abstain for certain periods of time.
For a hormone that we are created, we accept your hormone. You're on the hormone, no problem. We can no intimacy for a week, no problem. Menopause, pregnancy, it's all good. When a man has these hormones, number one, you are not allowed to have it. Number two, if you were to go to act upon it, I'm going to make your life hell. So I'm asking a simple question: what does a man?
So if you act upon your carnal desire, your carnal sinful desire to have sex with another woman, then you're going to get given these problems. That's normal. That's normal. You can expect somebody to react that way. I'm not saying it's right for a woman to withhold, visitation to children or to get the man out of the house or to make false accusations. But if you're going to follow your sinful carnal desires, those things have consequences.
Should do. Tell me, the men want to know the correct way of going about this without making it secret second wife. Because to me, from my point of view, it seems like none of the men want to make it secret. But the pressure, outside pressures from our wives and God knows what other elements, is causing men to be like, I have to go the secret way.
For me, I agree.
They're literally sitting there saying that they want to have another wife as these women are sitting there. And I'm pretty sure there's an audience there as well. It's so sad.
Polygamy is permissible. A man doesn't need to, I can't go away from Islam. He doesn't need to.
He should leave Islam.
Tell me, okay? But aside from Islam, I think my integrity, my dignity, my, who I am as a person, I would think it's so disrespectful for my husband to go and marry somebody else secretly without giving me the knowledge.
What about openly?
Can
he go openly?
But before openly, if we're talking about secret second wife, if my husband has gone behind my back, that to me is cheating. Even if it is.
And that's the thing, right? Because your conscience tells you that that's wrong. You know, to be a Muslim goes against conscience. Goes against your conscience to believe this stuff.
Islamically correct. However, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
If he was to come to me prior to him doing this and having that conversation with me, which we've already openly discussed this, I want a second wife, genuinely.
I don't know if that's the guy on the end. I'm just guessing. Could be, her husband. But yeah.
What would you?
I think the two on the left, they seem to have a sense of shame. I think their consciences are pricked. They're caught between their carnal desires and what their religion teaches them and what their conscience teaches them.
We would have a conversation. I'm not somebody who's not understanding. However, at least he gave me an option first, and he's given me a right in a way so I can make an informed decision for myself.
I understand, but let's go back to what you said before. Aside Islam, dignity, respect, with respect, that aside Islam or beside it, you don't have any of those things anyway. Dignity or respect.
I know, I agree.
So it's just this idea of aside Islam. We're Muslims. There is no aside Islam in this discussion. If I was speaking to an atheist, as I do,
leave Islam. That's the answer. Leave Islam.
We can bring in liberalism and feminism, but I'm speaking to a Muslim. So there is no aside Islam here. That's the first thing.
Okay, but you said lying is not okay, but is okay for a husband to lie to you. If he's lying to me every night.
Lying every night. Of course your conscience is telling you that's wrong. And the two men on the left, they know it as well.
We let you speak. So
why is he lying?
I'm not going to do prostration to the collective hormonal and emotional status of men or women or children or anybody else. I'm not going to do this. So I'm saying now we go back to the book and the sunnah. Well, the question is, what exactly are we objecting to? I'm saying that at the end of the day, everyone here has agreed that this is not what Sharia wants. It's not the best case scenario. It's not the default situation. In fact, what Ali said at the end there was a very good point. Because let's say, for example, a woman withholds from the man sexually. In Islam, this is a kabira min al-kabair. It's one of the major sins of Islam. One of the heavy sins, la'na is put on it. It's not like the angels.
What's that?
The angels, if the woman withholds from the man, that the angels will continue cursing until he works up. Now,
look, don't get me wrong. It's wrong for a woman to withhold, those things from her husband. But this idea that it's one of the worst sins, and the angels are cursing the woman until the man wakes up from his sleep. Crazy religion. Crazy.
If a woman is doing this to a man, wallahi uqsum billah, and this is my advice, and this is controversial. My advice to the brother is to get married again. Now, I'm saying that he can either do it secretly without her knowledge or not secretly. If he knows that she would withhold the kids from him, use the state, then do it without her knowledge.
But I believe that's a form of abuse.
Let's get straight into
it. This is a crazy religion. I'll put a link in the description. You can watch the whole thing. But this is a crazy religion. And I think two things that can just debunk what they're saying, that the argument that men should be allowed to have two wives, and really it's natural for men to have more than one wives, we're polygamous by nature. Two things debunk that are common in both Christianity and Islam. The first one is that God created Adam with only one wife, not multiple wives. And the second one is that Jesus didn't even have one wife, and he was able to control his sexual desires. So we can reject everything that they just said. We're allowed to have a wife, right? So we should have no problem trying to conform ourselves to the standard that God has set. Now, obviously in Islam, they're allowed to have more than one wife, but that's because it's a false religion. It's a man-centered religion. It's a carnal, fleshly religion. Even their concept of heaven, multiple wives with big breasts and brown eyes, this sort of thing, this is sinful, carnal things, Their idea of heaven is a paradise of sin. It's really a shocking religion, and I feel really sorry for these women, and I really hope that many women watch this kind of thing And even many men see how sinful it is by the conviction of their own conscience and the conviction of the Holy Spirit. And I hope they leave Islam and turn to the true religion, Christianity. I hope you've liked this video. If you have, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the bell notification button. I'll see you in the comment section, and you'll see me in my next video.